Friday Night Huddle, sponsored by Ingalls, Champion Chevrolet, Citizens Bank, and Pals.
Welcome into Friday Night Huddle. We are counting down the top 5 games each week from the high school gridiron. A light schedule tonight because about a dozen games were played last night to try and beat the weather.
Yes, for sure. And remember, you can get all of the scores of your favorite team ticking at the bottom of your screen. You can also get scores and highlights from last night's game at WCYB.com. We start with one of just a couple of games being played in Northeast Tennessee tonight. The battle for Hawkins County. Cherokee hosting a volunteer team still hungry for their first win of the season, and they would love nothing more than to get it on their rivals' home field. This one almost feeling like this year's Super Bowl for both sides. Both teams on the board early. Landon Jeffers hands off to Elijah Sexton, and he will not be stopped. Takes it towards the goal line and dives in for 6. Cherokee up by 7. But here comes the volunteer, thinking the trophy would look better in Churchill this time around. Jamison Mallow hands off to Keelan Ryford, and he splits the defense, strides in untouched. But the Chiefs had just too much momentum in this one. Jeffers finds Jacob Brooks, who pitches it back to Sexton, and that would be all she wrote. The Hawkins County Trophy stays in Rogersville for the second straight year as the Chiefs go on to win 35-20.
That trophy's a big deal. We try to talk about that, winning that thing, winning this game, being ingrained in our DNA, and winning it with resolve. So I'm very proud of the way that we performed tonight.
The series between David Crockett and Dobbins Bennett has been pretty one-sided. The Indians have never lost to the Pioneers with a shorthanded Crockett team. Have anything for DB tonight? They were certainly able to make a game of it, especially early behind their defense. DB coughs up the ball, and Zeke Sloan comes away with it for the Pioneers, but they were unable to turn that into points. Indians get the ball back, and Crockett's defense making their presence known again with another fumble recovery. This time it's Sean Summers. First on the board is David Crockett as Jake Whaley hits Sloan with a pass. He tosses it back to Dylan Callahan for the score. DB responds right away on the score by Tylen Taylor. Not picture, but here's the point after for you. And end of the half on another takeaway for the Pioneers. Adrian Wynn with this pick. They go into the halftime at 7, but DB would run away with it in the second half to win 28-7. News 5's Lauren Bradford has more from Jonesboro.
Dobbins Bennett came into David Crockett expecting a win, but after the first half, the Indians had turned the ball over 3 times, and the score was tied at 7. Head coach Joey Christian getting on the players at halftime, hoping to see a different team in the second half.
Well, the message is, that's not who we are. We can't have mistakes like that. We can't have all those penalties and turnovers and bad snaps and things like that. We're missing a few guys tonight, and obviously our center and some things like that really hurt us along the way. So, the message is just play what we're supposed to do what we're supposed to do, play how we're supposed to play, and things will take care of itself.
The offense woke up in the second half, and the defense remained strong as the Indians pulled away with a 28-7 win.
We was playing bad, like fumbles, penalties, and turned the momentum around for us and got us going.
Today may have been another game in the win column, but Dobbins Bennett knows they need to step it up before their next game.
Listen, we got to clean up some things. We got a quarterback that was making his second start tonight ever, and there's just things we got to do to get better if we're going to even remotely stay in the game against Science Hill next week.
Ain't really what we expected, ain't what we want. So we should have scored way more points. So it's back to the drawing board. We're going to be back to work.
In an up-and-down game for the Indians, Dobbins Bennett manages to secure the win before they head home to host a tough Science Hill next week. Reporting from Jonesboro, Lauren Bradford, News 5 WCYB.
Thanks, Lauren. 2 games down. I've already seen a pair of hook and ladders tonight. 3 to go, though, on our countdown, and we still have stops in Bristol, Clintwood, and Glade Spring, plus a couple of good games outside of the countdown, including this big non-district showdown between Grundy and Marion.
Junior High Bearcats versus the Lebanon Pioneers are Toyota's Friday night rivals. Friday, October 27th on the Tri-City CW. Toyota's Friday night rivals, presented by ETSU Health.
You asking, how do they do that?
Friday Night Huddle, sponsored by Ingalls, Champion Chevrolet, Citizens Bank, and Pals.
Well, to the games that just missed our top 5, starting with a wet one in Marion. The Scarlet Hurricanes hosting the Grundy Golden Wave. Grundy on their first drive and on the move, and Logan Lester wants to finish it off himself. Takes the QB keeper around the edge, sneaks into the end zone for 6. 2-point conversion is good as well. 8-0 Grundy, but Marion would respond after a long Ethan Campbell run. It sets up Reed Osborne. Takes it himself. QB for QB, 6 for 6, 8-7 Grundy until 20 seconds left in the half. Osborne drops back, floats it to Brody Witt for the touchdown. Marion takes a 14-8 lead into the half, and they go on to win 21-16. Out to Wise County, Lehigh and Central facing off. We start in the first quarter. Rebels up 6 with the ball. Brennan Pendergraft scrambling through the backfield finds Andrew Holmes through the defender's hands, and he would go all the way for the score after a failed conversion. It's now a 12-0 Lehigh lead. Jumping ahead to the second quarter. Warriors possession. Zico Quinn with the keep, and he plows through 2 defenders before going out at the 5-yard line, and that would set up Central for another O'Quinn run. A couple of plays later, this time into the end zone. Warriors get on the board, but Lehigh would add another 12 in the second half. They go on to win 24-7.
As time is winding down for teams in Virginia to build up their playoff resumes, both Gate City and John Battle would love nothing more than to add a big Mountain 7 win to theirs tonight as they clash up on Battle Hill on a cold and rainy night in Bristol. Both teams were fired up, and who wouldn't be for this showdown? The Blue Devils get on the board first when Luke Bledsoe calls for the sneak, but he loses the ball. Walker Hillman picks it up, and finally Logan Cassidy falls on it in the end zone for the touchdown. They would lead 6-0. Then later, it's Walker Hillman. He finds a seam and breaks some tackles. He's gone for the touchdown. Thank you very much. Makes it 13-0 Blue Devils, but the Trojans fight back with a little razzle-dazzle. What is it about tonight? All these crazy plays? How about a reverse from Braxton Emerson going around the left and then turns on the Jets? He's gone to the house. 13-7 Trojans, but later on the Blue Devils would have an answer when Luke Bledsoe finds a hole around the right side and then eventually finds the end zone. That makes it 19-7. Gate City would go on to get the 25-13 win.
It was raining, and, you know, both teams had to deal with it, but I thought our kids, they played their tails off, and, you know, give John Battle a lot of credit. They played their hind ends off tonight, too. It all starts up front, you know, offensively, our line did a good job of making some holes, and our running backs found the crease, and they were able to make a few yards for us.
2 more games to go in our countdown, and we still need to head up the mountain to Clintwood, where the Falcons were looking to fly high over the Wolfpack, plus a Hokohiki district battle in Glade Spring that featured 2 of the top small schools in the area. But first, the Cherokee Band takes us to break.
Prescription drug take-back day.
Friday Night Huddle, sponsored by Ingalls, Champion Chevrolet, Citizens Bank, and Pals.
Well, after losing 2 weeks ago to Union, Ridgeview found itself fighting for a home playoff game in Region 2D, while Abingdon was just fighting to stay in the Region 3D playoffs after a slow start to the season. The 2 teams meeting tonight out in Clintwood after a 3-and-out for the Pack to start this thing off. And a bad snap on a punt. Abingdon on the Ridgeview 22, and in just one play, fireworks. Owen Barr takes it to the end zone for the touchdown. 6-zip early Abingdon. Get used to that name too. Next Abingdon possession, same score. Owen Barr again, this time from about 5 yards out. 13-zip Falcons still in the first quarter. Abingdon driving again. Barr on the handoff, but he takes a big hit and the ball comes loose. Ridgeview recovers, looking to turn the tide in this one. However, the Pack cannot turn that into points, not capitalizing on their opportunities, and the Falcons make him pay. Next possession, it's Owen Barr again, making up for the mistake on a screen pass, shakes a pair of tacklers, and he takes it in for the big score. His third of the night, 20-0 Abingdon, and just when he thought there wasn't 3 wasn't enough, Barr says he wants 4. One of the last plays of the quarter. Barr again this time. His line shoves him in, his 4th score of the night. Abingdon pulls off the big 49-14 win. And News 5's Andrew McClung has our post-game report.
A scary 0-2 start to the season for the Abingdon Falcons. This team has quickly turned this year around, winning 4 of their last 5, including another big one tonight to make it 5 of their last 6, this time against a tough Ridgeview squad.
I'm just so proud of the consistency our guys have had. You know, losing the first 2 weeks of the season, they stayed consistent. They're going to come to work, and we got better each week. So we're just really proud of how they kept that focus and knowing that the football season is a marathon, not a sprint. We have a lot of football left to play.
And the Falcons defense stifling this evening, putting on the pressure on the Ridgeview offense, and then Owen Barr on the offensive side, doing it all for the Falcons on the ground and through the air.
That bye week really helped us. We had a bunch of preparation, good preparation, and we were just ready to come out and get them.
You know, I knew I had to come out here and run the ball. That's basically it. I knew my job, and I came out and did it.
Ridgeview has the week off next week. As for Abingdon, they have a Mountain 7 district clash between Union. The winner of that one will be your Mountain 7 district champs. Reporting in Clintwood, Andrew McClung, News 5, WCYB.
Well, not only was tonight's game in Glade Spring a battle between 2 teams at the top of Region 1D, it was also a battle between 2 teams whose head coaches were best friends. Seth Padgett versus Todd Tiller was also our Friday Night Rivals game of the week. We'll pick this one up with the game tied at 8. Cameron Goodspeed breaks through the line and then uses that good speed to put the Rebels up 15-8. PH led 18-14 at the break. Early in the second, Tigers grabbed the lead. Pace and music. Oh, look at Parker Bandy. What a catch in the back of the end zone. Honecker grabs a 20-18 lead. Looking for more, it's Aiden Lowe streaking down the sidelines, 36 yards and a touch. But the 2-point try was no good, so just 1-score game. The Rebels moving the ball, looking like they might tie it up, but Goodspeed fumbles the ball. The Tigers recover. Honecker gets the 26-18 win. News 5's Casey Getz was on the call for tonight's game. He has our post-game report.
This game between Honecker and Patrick Henry certainly lived up to the hype, but the play of the game, Honecker up by 8. They had a 4th and 8 at their own 38-yard line late in the game. Coach Tiller rolls the dice, says go for it. They got it with Peyton Music finding Aiden Lowe for a first down. They're able to run out the clock and get a 26-18 win over Patrick Henry.
Thinking, all right, we get this first down, we got to have this here, and they'll ice the game away, and so we're going to give it to our playmaker, you know, and Peyton and Aiden, you know, better combination than that, I don't know.
That play was big for us to win us the game. I read through all my reads, and I knew I had the Aiden coming across the middle, so I just put one on him and put him in the chest.
He said, you're going to run this crossing route, and it's going to be wide open. So I just ran my route, and Peyton put it exactly where I needed it, and it was a big play when we really needed it. But I couldn't do anything without my teammates. It was a great pass by Peyton.
Were you surprised when Coach said you guys are going for it?
No, sir. We do that a lot. It's not really much of a surprise when we go for it or when we don't punt because it's so normal to us.
With the win, Honecker improves to 8-0. Next week, they return home to play Northwood. As for Patrick Henry, the Rebels fall to 5-3. Next week, they're back here at home against Chilhowie. In Glade Spring, Virginia, Casey Getz, News 5 WCYB.
It was a light night for games in Tennessee. Just 2 other scores to pass along. South 3 wins on the road, 34-13 at Granger, while Greenville knocks off Northview Academy 31-0.
In Virginia, Hurley falls short at home to Tolja. Twin Valley loses to Riverview on the road. And J.I. Burton Black Raiders get their first win of the season in a 46-28 win over Castlewood. And lastly, in Virginia, Royal retreat all over Northwood, 47-6. In Kentucky, the Virginia High Bearcats go across state lines and win their second straight in dominating fashion over Jenkins. Leslie County with a 36-13 win at Somerset, and Letcher County Central gets the tight win over Whitley County.
And remember, it was a busy night on Thursday night as well. We've got all those scores and highlights at WCYB.com. That will do it for this week's edition of Friday Night Huddle. For Cole Johnson, Lauren Bradford, Andrew McClung, and Casey Getz, plus all of our great photographers, I'm Heather Williams. We'll leave you tonight with a look at some of this week's top plays.
Yeah, they moved back in there that time. They had 6 guys in the box.
We got a touchdown for Honecker. Parker